We're speaking with attorney Monica Centeno. Now, what if the bank is threatening to kick me out of my house? I mean, what do? I can't get anybody on the phone at the bank. They're not responding, no communication at all. I call your law firm, and what happens?
Well, you call me, you come in, and we discuss your situation. I don't take cases I don't think that I can get done. Sometimes the toughest part of my job is to really just make someone to read the writing on the wall. They're not going to be able to keep their house for whatever the reason. But in most cases, there is something that can be done. And if I'm willing to take the case, then we get on the phone and begin negotiating with the bank. Once an attorney gets involved, it takes on a little bit of a different course because they understand, the homeowner can threaten to get an attorney and file a lawsuit. I actually can just file one. And so it's a little bit different of a conversation with the bank.
If I'm able to get a loan modification and I'm in trouble with my mortgage, how long does that usually take, that process?
Well, a few months ago, I would have said 3 to 4 months. Now you're looking at 5 to 6 months. Banks are not really out hiring people to service the loan modification client because they're not making any money from it. So a lot of the time, it's a very frustrating process. A lot of the time spent is just waiting for that one person that's got your file in their pile of files on their desk to be able to get to that file. I'll give you an example. Chase has, on average, about 1,710 files per employee. So, you do the math. How long is the line?
Now, what if I'm a person who's a little bit behind and I'm just embarrassed? I don't know who to call. I don't even want to call the bank yet and try to tell them that I'm having financial difficulties or I might get laid off from my job. What should I do?
Well, I think it's important to decide what's important and prioritize. Is your pride important, or do you really just want to keep your house? And I understand there are a lot of good people who, I have a lot of people who come and say, I've never been late. I've never not paid a bill and I don't know what to do. And I think it's important to understand that, a lot of us are suffering this. I'm upside down in my house. We all have lost property value and things have happened that are beyond our control. It's not like it's 2005, everything's booming and you're the schlep who didn't want to get out of bed and go to work. Things are just happening beyond our control. So I think it's important to reach out for help and just to make a decision to get some help, because ignoring the problem isn't going to make it go away. We have an attorney-client privilege of confidentiality. I don't talk about, we can't disclose the names of our clients or any of that. So, you can come to my office and meet with me with some privacy and some confidentiality and just get the information to decide what you want to do.
What should I do if I've already tried to get some kind of loan modification or through a private company and they're just not doing what they promised?
Well, it's important to work with a licensed Nevada attorney. A lot of people see, I've heard people say Nevada, especially Las Vegas, is ground zero for loan modification. So there's a lot of people coming in trying to make money and get in on the game, so to speak, of loan modification. I think it's important to deal with someone who has a license. I am not going to rip someone off of $2,500 or $35 or whatever the number is and sacrifice my $100,000 law license. But somebody who is working with a company who just hung a shingle and took your money, that's someone who has an incentive to take your money and change their phone number. So I think if you've been to a company and you know where they are and you're not getting the result that you want, you should ask them for their money back, for your money back. If they're not willing to give you the money back or they're gone, you can report them to the state bar, because effectively they're practicing law without a license, and maybe get some relief there. Another avenue of redress would be to contact the Attorney General's office. They're very overwhelmed with claims, though, so it can be a little bit cumbersome to wait in line for them to deal with your claim. But you should definitely seek the advice of an attorney.
Now, if I'm in trouble with my mortgage, can the bank lock me out?
Well, that's a question. That's a very good question that I get asked by a lot of my clients. They're very afraid, am I going to come home? All my stuff's going to be on the lawn. What's going to happen? And what happens in a foreclosure, if after the actual foreclosure sale takes place, the landlord-tenant laws kick in and the homeowner becomes a tenant of the bank. They can't just kick you out. They have to then go through the eviction rule. So they're either going to evict you and you're going to get the constable come out and give you some notice of that, or they're going to send a realtor to knock on your door and ask you if you will move. They'll offer you some money and give you some time to be able to do that. And incidentally, if you have ignored the constable and they finally have come out and changed the locks and all your stuff is in the house, in Nevada, they have to store your stuff for 30 days. They can charge you a reasonable storage fee, but they have to give you your stuff back. So if you get locked out, you're still going to get your belongings.
Call the law offices of Monica Centeno today at 966-5660.